Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mud Puppets. Today we're going to be joined by wrestling promoter, MCWA Commissioner Johnny Bad Wheels.
And that's not all, Joel. We also have a new sponsor.
Remember, we have very strict guidelines here on public access. We can't say the name, okay? But we can illustrate the point by eating this juicy McDouble.
Wow, Joel. That's a big burger. It must cost a lot.
No, I got this on the dollar menu.
That's where I got this delicious McChicken.
Hey, how about that? Looks like you're liking it, Ryan.
No, Joel. I'm loving it.
Well, here we are. You know, summer is just about at an end, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Highlights, lowlights, anything you regret from this summer you didn't get to do?
I didn't get to work on my tan as much as I would like. I usually like to get a deep base coat. Highlights, this delicious fountain soda is pretty good.
Yeah, let me dig up on some of this fry action.
What about you, Joel? Highlights, lowlights?
Well, let's see. Highlights, I guess finding out I was going to be a dad, right?
That would have to be a big one. And let me ask you this. Have you gotten tired? I know when I was a dad-to-be, you get tons of advice from people, terrible advice from people. Have you gotten tired of all that?
Hasn't been too much so far.
Yeah.
Granted, just enough to annoy me.
Yeah.
But not too much.
Well, I decided, you know, all that bad advice, Joel, it's terrible. I'm a dad. I have a 10-month-old at home. I wrote some good advice for you, and I'm going to give it to you right now.
This is good advice.
This is the best advice out there. I wish I had known about this stuff from other dads.
Okay. All right. I'll give you a chance.
I wrote it down here. Babies must eat formula or breast milk. You cannot substitute Pepsi. Pepsi's delicious, and it's the choice of a new generation, so I thought you could get away with that. Baby is the newest generation possible. You can't do it.
Okay. Don't give the baby pop.
Don't give the baby any sort of carbonated beverages.
Fair enough.
They don't like it.
It's not condescending?
No.
Okay.
You know those jars of baby food?
Sure.
They're tiny. They're really small.
Yeah.
You got to eat about 30 of those to get full. And your wife is going to get pissed.
Wait a second. You fed the baby or yourself?
No, myself. You're going to hear stuff like, that was our baby's food for the month. You're so selfish. We don't have the money to replace that. Do you remember Steve Ambrose that we went to high school with? He runs a hot tub store. I could have married him instead. Just so get used to that in your mind. You're going to hear those things.
Okay.
That No More Tears shampoo they sell, that is a damned lie. If you put enough of that in his eyes, he will cry.
I don't think you're supposed to put it directly into their eyeballs, Ryan.
Well, how do you think they test it, genius? On lab rats or something? No, they get a little baby right in there. This one is a little bit embarrassing. I took my son out to an event. I had a little bit too much to drink. Babies cannot drive, and they will drop the dime on you as soon as they learn how to talk. Babies basically don't have a sense of bro code.
Okay.
Last but not least, Joel, and this is the one that I think is most important and most poignant, that baby is going to bring joy and happiness to your life for like 3 weeks. And then it just poops everywhere, and you have to feed it. And all you do is spend your time thinking about how much better and carefree your life was before this drain on your resources, time, and energy was brought into your life. But like those 3 weeks are magic. So just enjoy them. Savor them.
I'll say this. Your advice is worse than anyone else's advice I've received so far. It's so bad, in fact, you have me wondering if I should call Child Protective Services on my own family.
Well, guess what, tough guy? Good luck finding me, because I will run.
You're not going to run.
I got a baby that knows how to drive now, a little bit, and we'll take off on a cross-country adventure. Me eating his food, him rubbing shampoo in his eyes. He's immune to it now.
Okay. Well, you know, thanks for the advice, Fry. We are going to see a sketch, as it turns out. We, of course, are going to be joined by Johnny Bad Wheels on the other side of the sketch. So the sketch we're going to see now is a sketch that Johnny Bad Wheels was in with our sock puppet Munch. Enjoy Totally Kids.
Fiddlesticks!
And now it's time for Totally Kids with your host, Cameron P. Whoopowitz.
Hi, gang. Welcome to Totally Kids. Oh, you hear that? That sound means we're in the fun zone. And in the fun zone, we've only got one rule. No parents allowed. Sorry, Mom and Dad. On this one, you're gonna get the old heave-ho. All right, kids, today we're gonna talk about diversity. You're probably sitting there thinking, what's diversity? That's a big old word, Cameron. Well, I'll tell you. Diversity is the celebration of all the things that make us unique individuals. It could be the color of your hair. It could be the way you laugh. It could be having an especially slow metabolism and poor eating habits brought on by a controlling mother and a cold, distant father. Or just about anything else in the whole wide world. So sit back and watch. Our roving reporter Munch has a special guest in studio who's going to give us a great lesson in diversity.
Hello, kids. I'm Munch, and today we're joined by Johnny Badwheels. Johnny, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Munch.
Oh, thanks for having me, Munch. I'm just kidding you, buddy. That's how old Munch rolls around here. So, you run a wrestling company. Why don't you tell the kids about that?
Well, yeah, Munch, I'm the commissioner of the Michigan Championship Wrestling Association. You can find us at MCWAonline.com. Get all the information for our upcoming shows, our past events, our superstars, and all sorts of other information.
Oh, so this is like the fake crap.
I wouldn't call it fake. I'd call it entertainment.
I gotta tell you, Johnny, I'm hearing bank, bank, bank.
Well, Munch, we're just going to have to agree to disagree here. You know, it's family entertainment, and that's really what's important here.
Boring! Let's cut to the gist. Let's talk about being different. Why don't you tell the kids at home about your deformity?
Well, Munch, you know, I don't have a deformity. I was born with a condition that leaves me in this wheelchair, but it's very important for the kids to know that being a little different, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Uh-huh. And, what's the deal with these then? They don't work? They dead?
Please don't do that, Munch. It's very rude. And no, they're not dead. They simply just don't work.
Seem pretty dead to me.
Yo, please stop doing that. What's the deal here? This is not what I signed up for.
What's the deal with the wheelchair? Is that like fused to your spinal column or your ass or something? Are you a cyborg?
He's swearing now? And no, I'm not a cyborg. I'm just a man in a wheelchair. And I'm trying to sit here and do something nice for kids.
So, no function below the waist, eh? Bummer. I guess the legs aren't the only thing that's limp on Johnny Badwheels.
Oh, you know what? I've had enough. I'm not going to be insulted like this anymore.
Whoa, fella. You don't have to get heated with old Munch. It's not my fault you can't get any stank on your hang low.
Stank? On my hang low? You puppet! You! I'll kill you! I'll kill you dead!
Munch! Regrets! Nothing!
Totally Kids has been canceled.
Wanna get muddy? Visit mudpuppets.com today.
Totally Kids has always been near and dear to my heart. I gotta say, Ryan, you played a pretty mean Cameron in that.
Oh, thank you. And of course, Munch was in. It's too bad you weren't in that sketch, Joel. But Munch played a key role, and of course, the biggest role of all belonged to our guest here today, pro wrestling promoter, general good guy, friend of the Mud Puppets, Johnny Badwheels.
That's right. Johnny, welcome to the show. It's been a long time coming.
It's been way too long.
And I'll tell you what I like about Johnny.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I like about this guy. Most guests, you
Yeah.
come into the studio, you got to set up a chair for him. Not this guy. He is courteous enough to bring his own chair.
I do what I can to help my friends.
I appreciate it. Johnny, I want to ask you first thing. Totally Kids.
Totally Kids.
What was your experience like with us shooting that sketch?
Such a good time. Such a good time. Absolutely good time.
Was it?
Absolutely.
That
Because-
seemed genuine.
As I remember, you had quite a bit of trouble remembering your lines.
We did about 75 takes that day.
It was rough.
still fun, though.
It was rough.
My favorite part of the whole shoot was Johnny can be very verbose with his hands, and he likes to gesture and gesticulate.
What
And
Italians do, bud.
okay. And in interacting with Munch, Johnny's hands kept flying up into Munch's shot.
That's true.
So at one point I tried giving Johnny rolls of tape, gaffer's tape.
Oh, that's
to hold.
right, that's right.
And we're shooting, and all of a sudden into the shot, here comes the roll of gaffer's tape,
I remember that.
waving around. But no, we had a fun time
did. We
shooting.
sure did.
He got yourself caught up in in your shilling, because you were promoting the MCWA.
Absolutely.
But you were just prattling on, and I kept trying to get you to condense things, and it was very difficult for you. Have you always had a terrible memory?
Always.
Okay. All right. So mostly, though, we have you here to talk about wrestling. So you are the commissioner, of the Michigan Championship Wrestling Association.
That I am.
And let's face it, at some point in time, whether you're a promoter or a wrestler or whoever it is involved with a wrestling production, you started as a wrestling fan.
Sure.
We all did. So talk to me, Johnny, when you were on the cusp of, you were a fan, you were going to shows, how did you make the leap into being a promoter?
Just made the decision that it was something that I wanted to try to do. I've got a background in communications. I have a degree, a 4-year degree in communications, and I love pro wrestling. So I felt like I wanted to give it a try. I can't be a wrestler, and I love the business. I love being around it so much. So I wanted to find something that I could do in it, and that was where I went.
Now wait a second. You say you can't be a wrestler.
I can't be a wrestler.
Terribly limiting. What kind of message is that to the kids out there?
Kid, you can be anything you want to be if you just try.
I'm just kidding, kids. You probably can't be. I mean,
He's probably right.
let's just face it. Most of you aren't that talented or that smart or good looking. I've seen some of you.
Hey, being not talented or smart or good looking, you can still do cable access, kids. Keep that in mind.
You sure can.
Yeah, they'll let anyone in here. My God,
Especially you two.
They let Bubba come in,
There,
right?
there are no standards.
Okay, so obviously, though, you can't just waltz in someday and be like, you know what? I'm going to do a wrestling show here. What are the steps someone has to take in order to? It's not an easy business to break into.
Really not. It's really not.
So what do you have to do?
You've got to find a building. You've got to get insurance. You've got to get a trust with the guys that you're going to be good to them the way they need to be. You've got to promote. You got to get your name out there. You got to get the word out there about who you are and what you're doing. If people don't know, they won't come.
Right. And it's all very difficult to do.
It's time
definitely.
consuming. It's really time consuming. But if you love what you do, it's not a job. It's a passion.
And now you've been doing this roughly for about six years
years,
now?
7 years.
7 years. Okay. Now, I've known you for roughly better part of 4 years now.
That's about right.
And from knowing you, I know that in running the MCWA, you've had a number of partnerships
I have.
that have fallen through. And this is something that's common to independent wrestling.
Sure it is.
Can you talk a little bit, you don't have to name names, but some of your experiences dealing with shady partners, the people you need to watch out for?
Well, you just, people are people, and it took me a while to find the right fit, but when I found it, now we're on a roll.
And that's all you're going to say.
I'm not into knock people.
Ryan, would you like to add anything?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of experience working with a shady partner.
I wasn't talking on I wanted to mention one of Johnny's shady partners may have been the inspiration for a parody in a couple of our sketches, actually.
Yes, of course, the lovely character who has sold fat-ass chairs,
Oh no.
has sold fake laptops to the people, John Campagna.
John Campagna.
And he talks like this, and he's a bit of a shyster.
That was inspired by one of Johnny's former business partners. So there's a learning curve, obviously, like with anything.
Absolutely.
But I think especially with a business. Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm
All right.
great.
We'll talk about that learning curve. I mean, you said 6-7 years now, and there's been times where you had to step away from it all.
Sure. I mean, I at various times in my career, I've decided to step away and, look at what had just happened and change it and get better at it and figure out what I had to do to make it not happen again and improve. It's, it's all part of becoming better, and learning more and accepting failures and learning how to fix them and make them into successes.
I'll give Johnny credit for this.
Okay.
He brought in a heck of an announce team when
did.
he had his relaunch
I did.
back in March.
I did. The best relaunch, the best announce team I could have possibly had. Nothing beats the Mud-Puppets.
Oh, wow.
All right,
That's
we got the okay. All right, tell me this. If there's a kid, teenager, whatever, young guy coming to the shows, and they say, I want to get into wrestling, not just be a wrestler, they want to promote. What is the best piece of advice you have for that person?
You have to have, if you want to promote,
Yes.
you have to have a love. Number one, you have to have a love of pro wrestling. You have to realize that it's not, every day isn't a glamorous, awesome experience. You go through your share of days where you question why you're doing it, but you look back at the days that you enjoy, and those are the days that motivate you to continue. And the days that are good have to outweigh the days that are bad.
Biggest regret you have as a promoter?
Biggest regret I have had as a promoter, the biggest regret I've had as a promoter. Early on, not, jumping the gun. I jumped the gun when I started out. I jumped the gun a lot. I used to, I listened to people. I always listened to people, and I always respected people that came before me. But at the same time, I jumped the gun on a lot of stuff that maybe I shouldn't have. So, as I've gone on in my career promoting, I've learned to slow down, take my time, listen, learn, adapt, and go forward.
Yeah, that's sensible advice, I think. I think Johnny Badwheels is talking some good stuff here, Joel.
Not bad, not bad.
Trying.
This confrontational guy over here, you got a fan.
I'm not being
Badwheels.
confrontational.
You're always
okay.
confrontational.
I thought perhaps his answer would have been a little shorter. I thought perhaps it would have been, maybe 2 words, maybe a name. But we won't go there, Johnny. Don't worry. Just want to make you sweat it a little bit.
All right.
All right. Let's see. Last question before we get to our quiz. You've often been on the PWL, of course.
I have.
And you are often attacked not only by Mark Joka, your buddy Mark Joka, but also I call him your frenemy, Big Bubba Luscious. If there was one thing, they're not here now. The floor is yours. What would you say to those two? And don't make it one of your 5 phrases of doom.
I've got to come up with something else.
What do you got? They're always railroading you on that show. You've got the floor.
Well, obviously,
they're in the camera.
Obviously,
there you go.
Obviously, you railroad what you're afraid of. So I'm.
You hear that, Big Bubba Luscious? Johnny Badwheels says you are a coward.
Wow.
Bub, I know you're watching. You're the man. You're the best.
What the hell?
I'm not railroading you.
All right, moving on to the quiz.
Did you hear that? He said he is going to run
I'm
you
not
down
railroading
the
you.
streets.
I'm not railroading you, Bubba Luscious. You keep doing what you do.
All right, Johnny, we always like to play a quiz with our guests. Today you're playing for a very valuable prize.
Awesome.
This lovely coupon book from a local fast food merchant that we can't name. As you can see, lots of great coupons inside for you to use.
Awesome.
If you should win.
When I win.
If you get a question wrong, you'll hear this. But if you get it right, usually there's a theme to our quizzes. No theme this week.
No.
So the name of this quiz is There is no theme to this quiz, and all answers are completely random. Therefore, if you should happen to form a link between the answers that, when taken as a whole, create a humorous comparison, it was not intentional on our part, and it is instead the fault of your own sick psyche quiz.
I think I got it.
Nice. Here we go. Number 1. This actor soared to fame playing Superman in 4 straight films.
Christopher Reeve.
That's correct. This U.S. president famously said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself," in his first inaugural address.
Was it Nixon?
That was Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Nixon never said anything worthwhile.
Checker's speech was good. All right.
Yeah, it was.
Charles Xavier, founder and leader of the X-Men, is more commonly known by this moniker.
Professor X.
That's correct. 2 out of 3. You need 1 more to get the win. Considered by some to be the smartest man in the world, this theoretical physicist slash cosmologist suffers from a motor neuron disease and must communicate through a speech-generating computer.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, what's his name?
He looks kind of like this.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he totally
You
looks
can
like.
figure it out, bud. Will you?
Oh my God! What's his?
Just try.
Oh, what's his name? His name is.
It's on the tip of your tongue.
It's right on the tip.
Coming up on the time limit here.
Oh, his name is.
Oh, we are out of time on that one. All right, so you
Down
have
to the wire.
What's
You
his
have-
name?
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen
Yes.
Hawking. Yep.
You must get this one. Introduced to the WWE audience as Puke because of his ability to do so on command, this former NFL player would soon wrestle under his real name.
Steve Drozdoff.
Darren Drozdov.
For shame.
Unfortunately,
For shame.
our theme that has
Darren
our quiz
Drozdov.
that has no theme, I should say, at all. You failed, Johnny Bad Wheels.
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to keep this coupon.
Don you
I'm gonna
Darren
give this
Drozdov,
to
wherever
Mama
you're at.
Luscious, actually. Just to spite
Yeah, because that's
you.
what he needs. All right, we are going to see one of our new sketches, Final Wish, in which Ryan finds a magic tea kettle. And we'll be back with more.
How about a big greasy?
Joel, great news.
You took the money I gave you, and you bought the items on the grocery list without incident.
Nope. I didn't even make it into the store. I ran into a homeless guy and I bought this instead. It's magic.
Ryan, that was all the money we had.
We don't have to worry about money anymore. This is a magic lamp and there's a genie inside.
Okay, 1, that is a tea kettle. 2, there is no genie inside. Alright? And 3, I'm really starting to hate you.
There is a genie inside. The homeless guy told me so.
Oh, well, the homeless guy told you so. Well, genius, if there's a genie inside, why was he homeless? Why didn't he, I don't know, wish for a home?
That's kind of a good point. But regardless.
I'm the genie of the lamp. Your wish is my command.
Holy.
I know what I want.
Right, wait. Don't act impulsively. Think this through and really...
I want a bigger wiener. It's working. Oh, I gotta find a ruler.
So, you're a genie, huh?
Yep.
I thought you'd, be a little more old-fashioned, veil, half shirt.
Ew. You'd like that, wouldn't you, perv?
Oh, no, it's just, you think of a genie and it's an Arabic woman who...
Wow. Stereotype much?
3 inches.
She actually added 3 extra inches?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, added. That's not, that's not a total.
Good God, this is sad.
I want his wiener to be smaller.
Don't. Damn it!
Enough. This is your last wish. What is your heart's truest desire?
Well, I have always wanted to try that sex thing.
Fine.
What the hell? I thought I was gonna get to have sex.
Oh, fear not. You are, big boy. You are.
All right, but I get to be the guy.
No complaints here.
Wanna get muddy? Visit mudpuppets.com today!
Oh, that was a great sketch. Now we go to Mud Puppet Joel with a very special comment.
Thank you, Ryan.
Welcome.
Folks, citizens of Wyandotte, internet land, there's a lot of challenges going on the internet. And a lot of this is being spurred on by teenagers, I guess you'd say young adults, a generation behind my own. And some of them are for worthwhile causes, Ryan. Of course, we partook in the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, raise money for charity. But some of these challenges are dangerous and just downright stupid. For instance, the current craze over the fire challenge, where young people are dousing themselves in an accelerant such as lighter fluid and setting themselves on fire. People have died from this. People have suffered second and third degree burns, and quite honestly, I say good for them. But here's my issue with this. I say, kids, stop being such pansies. Let's take it one step further. I challenge all of you to take the Mud Puppet Joel a decapitation challenge. Because I know if you people are dumb enough to set yourselves on fire, there's at least some of you who are stupid enough to believe that you can survive being decapitated. Thank you.
Well, very well done, Joel, and hopefully that raises awareness of people without heads. Of course, if you have a special talent, you want to appear on our show, you have a question or comment, you can email us, themudpuppets@gmail.com. You can go to our website, mudpuppets.com. There you'll find all sorts of good stuff, like our Facebook, where you can like us, our WordPress, where you'll find our weekly podcast.
Absolutely. Check it unfiltered.
Unfiltered, uncensored. Our YouTube channel with all of our great videos, and of course, one of the best parts, Twitter. He's at MudPuppetJoel. I'm at MudPuppetRyan. We'll follow you back. Follow us on there.
And finally, I want to announce that our sound man, Matthew Chambers, has a new single coming out. His single is going to drop on September 15th. That is entitled You'll Regret This. It will be followed by an album of the same title this winter. And there's Matt now with his signature pose. And Matt tells me you can check that out on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and YouTube as well. So once again, Underground Arcade, You'll Regret This. And of course, right, you have something to say?
I regret going to that camera shot.
I never regret going to camera shots of Matt. One last time, Johnny, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, guys. I definitely don't regret being here.
Well, you know, I want to say, you're a good sport. I give you a lot of crap, but you take it in stride.
Do what I can.
So, how the legs? Are they getting any better?
Still dead. Still cyborgs.
Still dead?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you never know. Stem cells. Like, you know. I heard once they used, like, pig cells, and it straight up regrew a man's freaking arm. No joke. This wasn't just on The Simpsons either. Remember Homer got his arm caught in the vending machine? You're lying. You've been putting all those Simpsons quotes on Twitter, you liar.
They didn't use stem cells to regrow it, though. That's the lie.
No, in a real story I'm talking. Maybe we'll talk about it on that podcast sometime. Do you know the story I'm talking about?
No, because that never happened.
Okay.
You're a liar.
Okay.
Sponsorship deal.
Okay. We're out.
It was the Mud Puppet Show.